Hey everyone, Jacobs here. Today's topic is 10 horror movie first kills that no one will ever forget. Please subscribe before continuing to explore the world of cinema with us. Typically, the first death in a horror movie is one of the most terrifying scenes. It introduces the monster and establishes the tone for the rest of the movie. It serves as the anticipation of what is to come, and a successful opening captures the audience's interest without being too horrifying to surpass. While they are all fairly different, a good first kill in a movie can be as legendary as Georgie's death in it, or establish a strong backstory for a character like Midsommar. Despite their differences, all effective first kills in movies establish the tone and themes of the movie. The first death also stands in contrast to the famous final girl archetype and can serve as motivation for our heroes. And here's the list. Bathroom stall death. Scream 2, 1997. It seems logical that a couple watching a horror film in a dark cinema would be attacked by bystanders, but it didn't happen in Scream 2. The film opens with a couple seeing a movie. When the boyfriend goes to the bathroom, he hears someone in another stall crying. He presses his ear to the stall to listen and gets stabbed in the head. It's a strange way to murder someone, but that helps it stick out in the first place. To have an opening that not only plays on self-awareness, but also upping absurdity sets the scene for a strong sequel. Danny loses her entire family. Midsommar 2019. The haunting first Midsommar deaths have nothing to do with the following deaths, but they serve as a drive for Danny and her boyfriend to go to a deadly Midsommar festival. In the first killing, Danny's sister kills both her parents and herself. This opening sequence is dreadful since it starts with a snowy environment before cutting to a house that a girl had fumigated. Christian, Danny's lover, consoles her through her sorrow, but finds it difficult to be there because he initially planned to quit the relationship, but now feels compelled to stay with Danny. This prompts her to join him and his friends to a Midsommar celebration, and as a result of her grief, she gradually joins the cult she has been introduced to, even as her companions begin to vanish. Although it doesn't directly relate to the villains of the movie, the murder of her family provides the context for understanding how and why she can be indoctrinated. The Neighbors, Your Next 2011. While it's typical to have the first death of a slasher film be vaguely referenced every once in a while, in the movie or as a simple foundation for the killer, this death is imperative to the rest of the movie. The neighbor to the wealthy Davison family is a professor who recently left his wife for a college student. What's unknown to most of the family throughout the film is that while the neighbor's car is in the driveway, he and his girlfriend are dead. It leaves the family members more isolated than before when they seek help, and makes isolation more difficult. The Groom, Ready or Not, 2019. A young Daniel hides his brother from seeing the game before a man who has been stabbed begs for young Daniel's assistance, and Daniel shouts out to his family, allowing them to find him. There is something unsettling about a child helping his family get away with murder, but that is exactly what happens in the opening scene of Ready or Not. This guilt consumes an older Daniel as his younger brother Alex gets hitched and plays the same game of hide-and-seek with his bride-to-be that he was made to play under duress. Daniel's guilt with the first death resonates with all his actions throughout the game, as Daniel drinks and utilizes apathy to slow the game. He works slowly and thoughtfully, contemplating his place in the family and his life since leading to the death of a man. He regrets being a part of the family and wants to protect Alex, even if that means trying to get Alex to leave the family. Annie's death. It Follows 2014. The film opens with a girl running into the street in fear. The camera swings around to show that nothing is following her. She declines help from her father and neighbor and flees constantly out of fear. She then dashes inside her house, takes her car keys, and leaves. She contacts her parents later while on a beach and tells them she loves them. The next day, she is found killed. The fact that the creature is unseen to everyone in this scene, including us, is crucial. The entity is finally made apparent to the audience throughout the remaining portions of It Follows, which are seen from Jay's viewpoint. The story is further developed as Jay discovers the monster's laws, but this opening sequence provides an overview of the monster's appearance. Within 10 minutes, there's an evolution of fear to reluctance as the first girl lets herself be killed instead of continuing to be terrorized. Keith's death. Barbarian 2022. Even in his awkward and slightly unsettling role, Bill Skarsgård's presence in the lead of a horror film gives the impression that he might be the antagonist. Particularly in a movie when a woman wakes up to unusual noises and her door being opened after a man and woman are double booked at an Airbnb. However, the marketing team here made into confusing viewers because Keith gets eliminated first. The plot of the film plays with the idea of true villains and fictional ones, pitting a lady who was forced into a certain lifestyle against the man who did it to her. So to play with the notion of men's roles within the films is not only clever, but also offsets the awkward loner, who could easily be made into a bad guy in exchange for a more charismatic villain. Keith's attempts to make Tess feel safe and help her out are genuine and set him apart from other men in the film. Michael kills his sister. Halloween, 1978. The first scene of Halloween shows a couple making out through a window. The voyeur then slowly enters the house and follows the couple. When the boyfriend leaves, the voyeur walks the stairs to the girl's room and kills her there. When he leaves the house, his mask is taken off, exposing him to be a young child. This murder not only depicts a murderous child, but one who appears to have an incestuous fascination with his sister. This was the last instance of Michael Myers' humanity before he gave in to his violent impulses. His origins do not permit him to be anything other than a pure monster. Georgie's death. It 2017. Georgie goes outside to play with a toy boat in the rain when his sick sibling is unable to join them. The clown calms Georgie's anxieties before consuming his arm as he kneels to collect his boat after it floats into the sewer. This movie's death, which introduces the antagonist and the main character's reason, is also unforgettable. With Georgie giving in to her parents' typical anxieties about young children, the stranger danger factor also contributes to the movie's themes of dread and coming of age, setting up the idea of maturing and losing your innocence that is later portrayed in the movie. The car accident. Hereditary 2018. Peter is compelled to accompany his sister Charlie to a party, and she suddenly suffers an allergy reaction. He must hurriedly take her to the hospital. She opens the window, straining to breathe inside the vehicle, and as Peter swerves the vehicle to avoid a dead deer, Charlie is separated from her body by a telephone pole. The family is under a great deal of stress as a result of this tragic and senseless loss. Although the death was an accident, it was partially caused by Peter becoming wasted at a party and leaving his sister alone, as well as by Annie for forcing her to go along. The whole scene is gloomy, but it also raises the question of where personal responsibility fits into accidents. It splits the family apart and compels the audience to choose a side. Tree's first death. Happy Death Day, 2017. In a movie where the main character dies over and over again, there are many good deaths. Tree's first death, however, is simple. She's on her way to a party and gets lured into a tunnel by a music box, where she comes face to face with a killer. While it's not the most remarkable death throughout the film, this simplicity of this sticks out. She follows the patterns of other girls who die first in horror movies, as she naively engages in odd situations. Happy Death Day takes the concept of the first death versus the final girl and turns it around. A typical first death in movies with a final girl goes to the most promiscuous woman, or morally wrong. Tree is initially bratty, self-centered, and rude, but as the days repeat, again and again, she's forced to rethink her actions. She becomes not only a better person, but someone who is far more vigilant than those around her. The first death is the outline of who she is, before being forced to see her actions time and time again. So, which first kill that you will never forget? Let us know in the comment. If there's any topic that you want me to discuss, please comment below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also turn notification on. See you in the next video.